Hey, welcome back. It's wonderful to see your smiling faces again. In the last video, we learned how to paint the sky half. This is the first step in a silhouette landscape. And today, we're going to be doing the black landscape and trees. It's real easy. Jump right in with me. The materials we're using are a regular paintbrush. This paintbrush came out of a watercolor paint tray, just a Crayola watercolor paint tray. We've got black Tempera paint. This is just washable Tempera paint. And we've got a paper towel for cleanup. Notice that we don't have water today. When we painted the sky, we used watercolor paints, so we had to have a cup of water. Tempera paint is already wet, so it doesn't need to be mixed with water. In fact, you don't want to mix it with water because then it'll be too wet. So again, before we get started, let's go back and look at the photographs of silhouette landscapes with bright sunsets, and let's just remember what it is we're trying to accomplish here. In these pictures, we see a high contrast between the deep black of the landscape and the bright warm colors of the sky. And we also see some textural elements that show us where leaves are and things like that, and branches of the trees. And we notice that you can see some gaps between the leaves and between the branches and see the sky behind it. So how are we going to create those little gaps? It's real easy to do. For starters, let's paint the horizon. Notice when I dip my brush into the paint, I'm only getting paint on the bristles. I don't want to get paint on the metal. This is called the ferrule. You don't need to remember that word. I only want to get paint on the bristles. And I'm going to start at the bottom with just a straight line, a nice low horizon, and I'm going to paint everything below that black. Just fill the whole section black. This is going to be the landscape down at the bottom. Now, fun fact while I'm painting this, the reason that you see black land and black trees during a sunset like this, or a sunrise, is because everything is backlit. When the sun is shining from behind the land, it's shining on the back side where you can't see it, and then the side that you are looking at is in shadow. And so when something is backlit, you see a silhouette. So as I finish painting this area down here, I want to also talk about what we're going to be putting above the horizon. In this painting that I showed, you see that the horizon is nice and flat. What we can do if you want, you don't have to, but if you want, you can spend a little bit of time detailing out some distant mountains or hills that would come up above the horizon. And here's how you would do that. You would just make some bumpy, bajankety lines and then fill the space under them. And that makes it look like there are some distant mountains. That can make it a little more interesting instead of having a straight line for the horizon. I think these mountain and hills type of things look best if you have them, if you don't do them like a pattern. You don't want it to be a nice, smooth, even curve. You want to have some that are taller, some that are shorter, and some that are rockier and bumpier, and some that are smoother. And those differences will help to make your picture look more interesting. All right, so now that I've got the horizon, it's time to make this foreground tree. So what I'm going to do for starters is the trunk. Now, we don't want a straight line for the trunk. We want a nice bumpy, bendy, twisty trunk. And we want this trunk of the tree to be small and narrow and pointy at the top. And we want it to get thicker and wider as it comes down, 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 until when it reaches the horizon, it'll be fairly thick, not super thick. All right, so that's the trunk of the tree. But what really makes a tree stand out is the branches, especially with these sunsets. We want to be able to see these gaps between the branches and between the leaves. And in order to see those, we really have to put the branches in. So it's not going to be like a lollipop tree where we just do a big cloud of leaves at the top. We're going to have branches, then we're going to have branches coming off of the branches, and then those branches are going to have branches coming off of them. So let's just spend some time having fun, making lots of wiggly, bumpy branches. The branches should also kind of follow the same pattern as the trunk, where it's wider at the base and then narrower at the top. So the branches, when they come off of the tree, are going to be thicker, and then they're going to come to points as they get farther out away from the central part of the tree. Now these branches don't have to be perfect. A lot of these branches are going to be covered up by leaves anyway, but we want to start with these branches, even the ones that are going to get covered up, because they'll show us where the leaves belong. Because with a tree like this, you don't usually have leaves just like in a ball. You have leaves that are around the branches, especially around the ends of the branches. And I think that's enough branches for now. If you wanted your picture to look like a winter landscape, this would be a winter sunset. Even though the land is all black, it's not covered in snow or anything, we can tell that it's winter because all the leaves are off the tree. But if we want to add leaves, it's actually a super simple process to make these leaves. We're not going to try to paint one leaf at a time. Instead, we're going to use what artists call a rake brush. A rake brush is a brush where the bristles, instead of being stuck together, spread out. And you can make your own, or you can buy expensive ones, or it's real easy to make your own out of this brush right here by simply wiping most of your paint off the brush and using a mostly dry brush. And you see how the bristles, when it's dry, the bristles kind of spread out a little bit? And so with a mostly dry brush, with just a little bit of paint, I can start tapping in some leafy areas, and the bristles of the brush are spreading out to make lots of little indications of little bitty leafy areas. And then what I want to do is just dip ever so slightly, just get a tiny little bit of paint on there and keep going. And these are going to go around the branches. Now what I'm finding is that there's a little bit of wet paint still on my branches, and I don't even need to go back to my palette to get more paint. I'm just using the paint that's already there and just tapping and spreading that paint around. And this gives the illusion of more branches and more leaves. If I need to, I can go back to the palette for just a tiny little bit of paint at a time, just at the tips. I don't want much on the bristles themselves. I just want tiny little bits of paint on the tips of the bristles. Or if there's extra paint still wet down here, I can pick a little bit of that up. And there you have it. That is my finished silhouette landscape. Real easy to do, just 2 simple steps. Step 1 is the sky, and step 2 is just black paint. Now all that's left is cleaning my brush. Even after doing all that fancy crazy stuff, the bristles do end up coming back together quite nicely. So this brush is not ruined, even though it looked like it would be. And now I'm gonna set this picture aside to dry, and I've gotta clean up my mess on my table. And cleaning tempera paint, even if it's dry paint, is as easy as getting a damp paper towel. So, just gonna get a tiny touch of water on there, squeeze out the extra. And that's it.